Let's debunk this common belief about spiritual awakening, that it's supposedly only about bliss, love, unity, oneness, unconditional love. Like you all of a sudden go into this higher state, frequency, and you will just stay there sort of forever. If you have experienced oneness, an awakening, this unconditional love, maybe a kundalini rising, you know they can be destabilising, overwhelming and confusing and traumatizing. It can pull the floor out from underneath you, crack your identity and life open and drop you into the dark night of the soul. Spiritual awakening is beautiful, the most beautiful thing that you can experience. The expansion of consciousness, the realization of who you are. But the hard part begins after that glimpse, after that peak experience, when you come back to the mundane, everyday life with routines, responsibilities, bills. Something inside you has shifted. You know what it feels like to be open, connected, spacious, still. And the contrast with the so-called normal life becomes almost unbearable because your old life doesn't fit you anymore. Your former friends feel too shallow. Your old identity feels uncomfortable. Your motivations evaporate. Your previous goals feel meaningless and you are left without a compass. You've seen through the illusion and you felt the very fabric of life. Now everything else feels insufficient and fake. But the more you try to hold on to that experience of oneness and love, the faster it fades. So you go on another retreat or retreat in silence. You try plant medicine, you listen to spiritual teachers and gurus, you try sound baths, mantras, pranayama, you attend a spiritual festival, you surround yourself with high vibrational people, and maybe crystals. And you might have those moments again of real intimacy, stillness and oneness. But without holistic trauma healing, integration and embodiment, a spiritual awakening rarely lasts and you can feel worse than before. That's because awakening, it pulls up everything in you to the surface that is not healed. Trauma, patterns, emotional wounds, subconscious conditioning. Your nervous system goes into overload. Your sense of self dissolves faster than your capacity to make sense out of it. You see the world with new eyes. The pain, the corruption, the collective trauma, and it hurts and it can be overwhelming. Now, you might feel isolated. You might feel like no one understands you anymore. You might even feel like you're going backwards because you're now more sensitive, more emotional than before. Because that's because you're aware of everything that you used to numb or try to escape from. Or you might fall into one or more of the classic spiritual traps, like the spiritual bypassing, using spirituality to avoid feeling. It's all about the higher chakras and vibrations. Nothing is real, all is perfect, or the spiritual ego, thinking that you're sort of ahead or you're chosen because you've had these experiences. You have this confusion, sometimes even abuse. We're following someone else's path that is not right for you, blindly following someone else. You have the spiritual isolation where you haven't found your tribe yet. The spiritual future faking as you paint a picture of what enlightenment is, what you will do, what you will feel like, the abilities that you will have when you get there. And for many women, there is this additional wound as well. Spiritual patriarchy. Being an empathetic, overgiving woman, hearing teachings like turn the other cheek, just forgive, put other people's needs first, serve others, stay humble, stay quiet, don't rock the boat, sacrifice your needs. Teachings that keep women small, compliant, and self-erasing is not really helpful. But here's the truth. Awakening, well, normally at least, doesn't erase trauma. It doesn't regulate your nervous system. It doesn't repair attachment wounds. It doesn't dissolve conditioning. It doesn't remove fear or self-doubt. Awakening reveals who you are, yes, but trauma then pulls you back into you've had to be to survive. And that meeting place between awakening and trauma is rarely acknowledged or addressed. It should be, because awakening isn't about becoming someone new. It is about removing everything that blocks you from recognizing who you truly are. The conditioning, the inherited beliefs, the trauma patterns, the survival identity, the thoughts that were never even yours to begin with, that were just put there. And you don't uncover your true nature by escaping your life. You uncover it by being deeply present within your life, in your relationships, in your triggers, in conflict, in silence, in overwhelm, in joy, in the mundane, in everything. Presence while washing dishes, awareness in your conversations, compassion in conflict, stillness in chaos, integrity in choice, embodiment in movement, honesty in emotion, love in the small moments. Everything becomes a practice. Everything becomes the doorway. But trauma blocks presence. Fear blocks intuition. Nervous system dysregulation blocks clarity. Old identity blocks truth. Survival blocks awakening. Healing and awakening are interconnected. No, I'm no Eckhart Tolle, Ramana Maharishi, or Muji. I do get caught in patterns at times. Sometimes I still get triggered or emotional. But I know who I am beneath all of that. I know the stillness underneath the thoughts, the sensations and reactions. And if you want, I can help you recognize, remember your essence. If you're navigating a spiritual awakening and if you feel stuck, confused, or like your whole life is crumbling, I want you to know that there is a grounded, embodied, human way to integrate awakening, to soften trauma, to calm your nervous system, to remove the filters that block your true nature, to strengthen your intuition, to live from presence in real life. So if you feel ready for that, there is a place for you in our community. You can check it out by this link and you can try it for free to see if it really resonates with you. Thank you. May you be happy, peaceful, and free.